This is the first time. I should probably try and catch my breath first. Hang on. Okay guys, we've just finished up the luncheon for today, and so the event is done. And we are gonna head to the gym and get a little bit of a workout done. And obviously there wasn't a whole lot there. We checked it out yesterday, but to save ourselves probably 40 minutes with the walk to the other gym and back, which is where we trained yesterday, it was arguably much nicer. We're gonna get a workout done today in the hotel. So let's go and see what we can come up with. Wow, well, we are so spoiled. I'm kind of not surprised that we're the only ones in here. It is currently 2:50 in the afternoon. Oh, but we have a nice view. Look at that. So pretty. So I think we should get bikes. I wonder if the hotel has bike rentals. That'd be so fun. There's this couple down here sitting under the love seat. Okay, let's not get too distracted. They're probably like, what are those weirdos doing? Okay, so I've got my app, I have my program. I'm gonna pull it up and just have a look at what the muscle group outline is supposed to be. And then I'll see if I can go through and do some replacements. So rather than me starting from scratch today, and by the way, we do have hotel specific workouts in the app. We've got one that's for dumbbells only, we have a Smith machine only, and then a dumbbell Smith machine option. So if you are needing a quick and easy workout, we've got some for you that are more full body focused. But I'm just going to go through and replace all those exercises today. So let's take a look. I'm guessing my primary movement is probably going to be, let's take a look over at this new program. Okay, so typically I would have done a 15-minute walk today, which I have, check. We'll fix that up. I'm gonna go in and replace this exercise and just literally hitting the button. Everything that shows up here in this list, I was worried then because the Wi-Fi here is terrible. Everything in this list is going to be the same primary muscle group as the movement we are replacing. So you don't need to fear that your alternative exercise is going to be wrong. So here's an alternating front foot elevated dumbbell lunge. You can also just do an alternating front foot elevated reverse lunge. So that's what we've been doing. So we'll replace that. And it's gonna ask you whether you wanna do that for all future workouts, because some people wanna set up their program like the same every week for the next 6 weeks, but we just want to do this for today. And now there is our exercise. So I can go in and put in what we just did. Smith machine front foot elevated reverse lunge. So guess what? We can still do that here. We're just gonna use the dumbbells. They don't have anything to necessarily elevate your foot with, but we might be able to. I'm just looking here whether this is, it's probably too close. I don't think it's super safe. Oh, you know what? Maybe the treadmill? I don't know. I don't want to injure myself here. This will slide. Yeah, this is gonna slide. Hang on. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, this doesn't move around too much. This would be okay. Probably not the safest choice. This looks a little more sturdy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's great. Thankfully, we've got no competitors in here. For the time being. I don't know what weight I've been using. 12 weight, 12 reps, 45, so I'll just grab that. Oh my gosh, first lift of the day. And let me just do some quick warm-ups here. I don't want to injure myself. I have been sitting for too many hours. We went out for dinner last night, guys. And I think I went a little overboard. So I had like 800 calories left, right? So I'd had 2 small meals throughout the day, leaving me with 800 calories for dinner. And I first order their ahi tuna and a Cobb wedge salad of sorts. It was like boiled eggs, cherry tomatoes, and I was like, okay, I'll get the dressing on the side. And come with me, let me get my wraps. Put the dressing on the side. I proceed to eat the whole salad, no issues. It was like, I looked at my plate, I'm like, where'd that go? And then I'm pretty sure I finished the entire ahi tuna dish. That's one of those ones with like the delicious layers of like avocado on the bottom with, it's like marinated in like eel sauce, and then it has the wontons. Finished that, and then proceeds to order a filet mignon, a side of vegetables, and I subbed out my side of fries for Alfredo. Guys, I think as my dinner came out, I was like, yeah, I might have overcommitted. So I've got an entire filet in my refrigerator right now, which I didn't even get to. Yeah, I don't think I hit my calories. Yesterday, it's probably like 400 or 500 over. So it's kind of a skinny day today, that's for sure. So everyone makes mistakes, but you can kind of modify things a little bit. But when you go too overboard, let's say you go over 30% of your normal calorie targets, I wouldn't be trying to make that up in one day. I'd be doing it over 2 or 3 days. If you go over by 10%, I think it's reasonable to just make it up the next day and just have slightly lower calories. But once you go too far, the amount of restriction that you end up having to put in the following day, it's just too much. So I'll probably go a little bit lower today and tomorrow just because I think I went over by quite a bit. I have partially tracked last night's dinner. Oh my goodness. Okay. So generally I would try to increase the weight for each set, but based on how I'm feeling today, like my energy levels, my mood, how my body's feeling, it just doesn't feel recovered today. I'm probably at like a 6 out of 10, which is pretty bad. I think normally I train at like an 8.5 or a 9 most days. So I am just sticking with the same dumbbells. They do have slightly heavy ones. I've got 50s over here, but what would be the benefit of that other than me potentially just pushing it too hard and then injuring myself, or just beating myself up for tomorrow, you know, and then sacrificing a workout later in the week. So sometimes the modest, I guess, RPE is the best approach rather than just trying to go that extra mile when it's not really necessary when it comes to muscle growth. I rested for so long, I can't remember what I was going to say. What was I even talking about? I literally can't remember. God, your girl needs she needs a holiday. So what I was going to say was, this is the first time in, goodness, I'm going to say 7 years I have let anybody do a program for me. So I was so busy this past week and I was actually putting together some new programs for the app that weren't my own, that I said to Sam, okay, I've got an outline. I need these muscle groups and I need this many sets per week. Here's my last program. Go. So Dr. Buckner actually did this program, or at least he selected the exercises. So he's one of the world's leading researchers in muscle hypertrophy. So we should all be, I guess, excited about that. So yeah, I've never, or not in 7 years, have I had somebody do my programming. So the last person that did programming for me was Andres Vargas. He did my powerlifting programming when I first started. And I had no idea how to do it appropriately. I would have just gone balls to the wall all the time. So I definitely needed some guidance on that. But yeah, so this is a Samuel Buckner program. So there's a few exercises in here that we both looked at each other this week and we were like, well, we got you to blame for it. Sorry, let's see what the next exercise is. All right, guys. Okay, so the next exercise in the library or in the program structure was a glute-focused hyperextension. So double glute max, basically. They don't have any benches in here that will be appropriate for that. And they honestly have no machines either. So what I'm going to do, and some people hate this exercise, I don't mind it, but I'm going to do a cable pull through. So if you get yourself in the right position, you're kind of lengthening your hamstrings. It's definitely a good hamstring exercise too. I don't want to pretend like this is all glute max because it's not. We're definitely going to get some hamstring activation here, but you're basically doing a pull through. But I don't know that I have ropes. We might use a double handle. All right, I'll probably use my grips for this too. All right, so you're basically going to walk it forwards and you're reaching back through, coming into extension. I'm squeezing my glutes here. Big stretch. For anyone that says this doesn't get your glute max, they've obviously never done this exercise. Do I think it's the best one? No. As you get heavier, the loading profile gets a bit more challenging, but I mean, this is fine, guys. I'm doing it. Okay guys, so up next we were supposed to be doing a machine hip abduction. It's like a bilateral version. We don't have any glute exercise equipment here today, so I did pack my trusty ankle strap, and thank goodness that I did, because we would have been finding it a lot more challenging to do glute work today if I had it. So I'm going to do a single leg cable hip abduction. Now you can do this a couple of different ways. I'm going to use the variation today that allows you to basically go on one knee. So it makes it a little bit more challenging. There's less stability than if you just stand by the cable and abduct out on the 45. So I'll just go ahead and put this strap on. And by the way, you can actually purchase this exact product on my website. So if you are in the need for a new one, or if you're like me and you've lost its buddy, I literally need to buy myself another one because I've lost the other ankle strap, but they are available for purchase on my website. So I like it because it locks your foot in, it doesn't slide around on your ankle like the other ones that are just an ankle strap, and then the buckle ends up rubbing on your shin. So this kind of keeps it in that place. You want to position yourself far enough away from the cable that you can kind of let your body, like it pulls you forward. See how my glute is in a big stretched position? So I'm not like finishing here, like it's pulling me forwards. Sorry, that's lengthening my glute max a little bit more. So it's allowing you to train through a full range of motion. So come through, kicking out slightly on the 45. Yikes. So I probably misloaded the first set a little bit. That was somewhat better. Next time I'm gonna go up in weight, so that I'm kind of maxing out at 20 reps. Otherwise it becomes super inefficient when it comes to time. Alrighty guys, so I'm not getting up and out to explain this one to you because I'm in and I am strapped in. So if you could not guess already, the exercise in the program is supposed to be some kind of hip thrust. Again, we're so limited on equipment here. I have done this exact variation for probably a third of one of my previous preps and it works great. It's just a little bit of setup. You're probably like, what are you doing with that Bosu ball, Holly? You're insane. And yes, I'd normally say the same thing. There's no steps in this gym. There's no weight plates in this gym. It is bare bones, barren, skeleton like gym setup. So they do have a Bosu. This is literally helping to increase your range of motion and it's adding a little bit of instability. So I was so skeptical when I put this down here. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. I actually like it. So it's elevating my feet to help when I'm dropping down at the bottom of the hip thrust to increase range of motion, to get more lengthening in my glute. And it feels quite comfortable. So we're setting the cables up on the bottom-most setting. We've got the straight bar set up across here, bench behind you. This is the worst setup imaginable and we are making it work. So as far as weight, I just did a few practice reps at 30 and it felt ridiculously light. So I don't know what my working set's going to be. I'll probably take it up to, I don't know, 100 or something and see how this feels for the first set. But we're going to do, because of the setup, think about how annoying this was. I'm going to do myo rep sets. Let's make this efficient. So I'm going to do an activation set of about 15 to 20 reps, or go until it hurts. I'm going to pause for just 15 seconds, so short rest. And then I'm going to come back in for my 3 myo rep sets. And again, those are probably going to be somewhere in the realm of 8 to 12 repetitions, or at least I'm going to try and choose a load that allows me to do that. That's the hypertrophy rep range. Short rest again. So it's basically capitalizing on that metabolic environment in my glutes to help fatigue the muscle, which signals growth. So you can absolutely manipulate time or rest periods to help facilitate muscle growth. So when you hear people make comments about you have to rest for 2 minutes between sets, that is an option. It's one of many. Now for strength-based exercises, yes, rest for a long time. You put a lot of load on your body, like take the rest. And if you're thinking about performance, you want to rest. But my purpose today in this gym is to grow my glutes, and I'm also time poor. So myo rep sets makes perfect sense. If I can best describe that, that is torture. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. My spine is put together a little S-like. I've got quite a lordosis, so I can tell you, because of the angle, it does put a little bit of excess load on my lumbar spine. What's my heart rate right now? 166. So anyways, as I was trying to say, generally speaking, for me to find that exercise comfortable, I almost need to be on a bit of an incline where my body is like leaning up, because when the load comes down at the bottom, it's not quite as an aggressive like pressure on my spine when it's in that curved position. So this keeps me pretty square and straight, and I can feel that a little bit. But my glutes are toast, and I'm curious to see how Sam goes behind the camera to see if he finds that as disgusting as I just did. But that was good. My rep sets. How was that? Easy. All right, guys. So we're going to take a little breather from lower body because y'all, that's all I can say. Let's go and take a look at here on the screen. So I'm actually going to move that inverted row just by grabbing this and dragging it up here. We're going to, I went too quick. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move this hamstring exercise down one just to give our lower body a bit of a break. This is originally the last exercise, but remember that exercise order is less important when you're just training specifically for hypertrophy. Now, if you've got a strength goal, it's a different conversation. If it was a compound lift, I might advise against doing that just from an injury risk prevention standpoint, but none of that really applies to us today. So I've just set up, since we were already over on this cable, we have inverted rows. Now you could pick any other back exercise in the library here. Obviously we have the dumbbells. There's a bazillion cable exercises in the library that you could have done. But since we already had the bar set up, we can actually do an inverted row. So just make sure that you set the weight on the tower heavier than your weight or you will not hang. And then make sure that you've got it high enough so that when you're in that extended position here, you aren't touching the ground. So you can do this with the feet straight. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging. If you do it with feet in, it gives you a little bit more support. So this would be the beginner version or the more advanced version. So this hurt. I think it might be just as bad as pull-ups, and my poor neck didn't sleep well. Okay, so you notice in that set I just put the bench here but at the end of my feet. That just gives you a little bit extra support. I felt like I was sliding away as I was doing the rows, and then I wasn't pulling through and kind of maintaining the spot in the back where I wanted it to target. It was like creeping up and up and up and up and up. So it was becoming a trap exercise. So that just kind of kept me in place so that when I come up and touch the bar, it was just below my chest. So that's why that's there. All right, guys, I'm not going to use the Bosu ball with these, I promise. So the original exercise was a seated hamstring machine curl. So obviously we don't have that here. I am going to use the dumbbells instead, just a 2-leg standard dumbbell RDL. But I will say I don't do these as much as I used to. I used to do a lot more like heavy barbell work. There's a couple of reasons I do a little bit less of that now. One is just overall fatigue. I used to find that I would get very under recovered. I would be so sore all the time. And it really made continuing a contest prep challenging physically and psychologically. So going to more isolation movements for me has probably meant to high quality training sessions. I don't get as fatigued because it's not so full body. I do a lot more direct isolation work. The other potential minor benefit is also just trunk thickness. So because I already do other trunk activation exercises, so anytime you're squatting, anytime you're doing axial loaded exercises, any overhead press, whether it's a barbell, dumbbell, doesn't matter, you're bracing your core. You should be. Sorry, that's how you get strong. But I'm trying to minimize any thickness through my lower erectors just because I do bikini. If I wasn't doing bikini competitions, you bet your ass I would be doing more of this because I love training this way. I like being strong. Now, in terms of muscle thickness, it's probably minimal. We don't have direct studies that even look at this. We can make assumptions, but for me, this is primarily more about a, risk-reward decision and minimizing injury and maximizing recovery during caloric restriction. Okay, so these weights are really light. I probably should have like 75s or 80s. So to make it more challenging, I could slow this down. I could do them in the partial range of motion in the lengthened position. Probably not very fun. There's a lot of ways I could take this exercise and make it harder. Deficits, where you go below your normal range of motion. But if you remember at the beginning, I said I felt like garbage. This is fine. I'm just gonna stick to 15 reps. That probably got me to like an upper 6. Like my hamstrings aren't my biggest growth muscle group right now. They're a secondary focus. So I'm just happy that I'm in the gym today. Did I start? I think I went first. Does anyone else have a hard time remembering like what set you're up to? I know. I always say I have such little oxygen to my brain. I'm like, yeah, I can't remember. Okay guys, so up next was traditionally a barbell incline bench press. I think sometimes I swap it out for a Smith machine just because I really enjoy using a Smith machine. So it's nice and controlled, especially as I'm getting more and more fatigued. But do love me a good barbell press of any kind. But today I'm gonna use the dumbbells. So low incline, again, there are some subtle differences in which part of your chest you're going to target when you do your incline. But predominantly right now, we're working that midpoint of the chest. The more upright you become, the more shoulder we start to, the more medial shoulder you start to incorporate, which none of that's a bad thing to me because I want my shoulders to grow regardless. I don't care whether it's my anterior shoulder or my medial. I want them all to grow. So the incline is less important to me. I just like this exercise. So let's jump in. Alrighty guys, last movement. I have selections here that I could choose from, but if you were me, would you do overhead press after you've just done that press, or would you do lateral raises? I'm gonna do lateral raises. So both of these exercises are on today's program, but for the sake of time, I'm done. I'm just ready to rest. It's been such a long week. I go back home tomorrow. I can get some more workouts in if I want to. So to call it quits, it has been 90 minutes. We're gonna finish with a lateral raise, so let's do it. Alrighty guys, that's it for today. Thank goodness. I'm so ready to just rest and maybe like turn my brain off a little bit. I'm sure you guys can relate. But if you always get your hands on the BiaFit app, you can get it on Android and iOS. It's available for download. I think it's $15.99 a month. And you can also sign up for a 6 monthly or annually. You get a little bit of a discount. I think it's 30% off if you get the full year subscription. We have hundreds of programs. Programs are going to work for you, your mum, your daughter. We've got all experience levels, all program goals, and they're so flexible. You saw me using some of the features today. The whole purpose of putting this together was to do better than what apps already exist. So it's super flexible and very comprehensive. But other than that, I'm ready to get checked out. Go and have a nap. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Working out is power, power is you. Start training with your mind, mind just plays with you. Open the beat.